Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more mid-handicap driver testing. Today guys, we have the Mizuno ST driver. We have Dave, nice and blue matching.
Yeah, beautiful.
Blue and white, there's no yellow, so it's not for Leeds United. We are testing today the STX driver, so the most forgiving one on the range for Mizuno. So as we know, mid-handicap, we always go towards that. And we're doing that today. There is two options of this, so there is a platinum version which is it is a little bit lighter, and it is also aimed at slower swing speeds, so perfect for anyone who's maybe a little bit slower than Dave.
Why do you keep pointing at me?
I don't know why, Dave. We've seen his an average swing speed at 90 miles an hour, so we have tested this inside guys, but we're going to test it out here. Yesterday we tested the ZX5, so Srixon's version of obviously a forgiving driver. We saw that Dave struggled because of the draw bias. This driver is a little bit less draw bias. This does say it has a little bit more workability, which is one thing you need to think about. If sometimes, as a mid-handicapper, Dave is off 12, sometimes might want to fade a shot, or try anyway.
I do fade or draw, just not at will.
Yeah, try to do it. This will allow you to do it. It's not too draw bias. So first of all, Dave, looks-wise, you like the look?
I do. I like the way the carbon weave on the top. I think it looks really nice.
Yeah.
The Mizuno logo to align your ball with looks great. Bottom's interesting. I haven't a clue what Cortex chamber is.
Yeah, and we'll put that on the screen now. So there's also a lot of technology in here. So the Cortex system is a 3 gram stainless steel weight, which is just helping to take a little bit of stress away from the face so we get more ball speed. Again, there's a lot of information on there. When you go on the website, which I'll put on the screen now, you see all this information, but it's how it relates to you. Again, we want to see for Dave, how does it launch? How, obviously distance-wise, we have got the numbers inside, and how does it compare to the Srixon? Looks-wise, Dave, which one would you prefer?
I actually prefer the look of this.
Prefer this one? We had a matte finish on the Srixon.
This is more of a, well, shiny finish, and I do like the look of that carbon weave at the top.
So let's get the golf club behind the ball. Let's hit this ball that Dave has already teed up, and let's see how it sits behind the ball, because we want to see what the profile is behind the ball. Is there any difference in regards to this club and the Srixon?
It looks, the face looks higher, it looks bigger.
Okay, I don't know, a little bit deeper face.
Yeah, I don't know whether it is or not, but yeah, it looks bigger behind the ball anyway.
And the profile looks a little bit bigger than last week. Yeah, so again,
fills you with a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, so the finish on there, guys, obviously we've got a total different finish. It looks a little bit bigger, and again, this is designed to give you that, spreading the weight across there. We've got the forgiveness as we want from this kind of driver. It's all things that are aimed towards a mid-handicap. It's a driver that a lot of people don't test. We don't see Mizunos, we don't see Srixons a lot, so that's why I wanted to give Dave obviously the chance to test this, because a lot of people do comment asking for these drivers as opposed to your standards. We all see the Stealth, we all see the Paradigm, but we don't often see these drivers in a mid-handicapper's house.
But I think there's a case for, if you're in the market for a new driver, for going for a fitting, but going in with an open mind. You know, it shouldn't matter whether it's Callaway, TaylorMade, Srixon, Mizuno, whatever's best for you, not what's got the better name.
Exactly, and that's why we test them all, because we've seen so far the Paradigm is leading. So the standard Paradigm with the fade bias that we changed is leading in the clubhouse, but this driver is working out around about £80 cheaper than that. So if you're trying to look at your budget, and if you want to save a bit more money and you get the same performance, it's a driver to definitely test. So let's give this a go, Dave. It's a fantastic drive, Dave. So straight down the middle there. So very interesting. Dave's happy with that.
I am, yeah. Look where it came off the face as well.
Let's get that on there. So very interesting there from Dave's strike. He was absolutely chuffed with that drive. It was one of the best ones we've seen today. Better than inside, certainly.
Yeah, strange that.
But a great strike, a nice little draw. Now let's talk numbers. Okay guys, so numbers are on the screen now. You can certainly see from the averages that with this driver, ever so slightly draw bias, we did hit them all left. We had one just left of the centre line, 10 yards left, and then all the others were 10 yards or more left of target.
Except for this one.
Except for this one. So out on the golf course, guys, a very good test to do. So it is to come out here and test it on a tough driving hole, take your setup, and then commit to your shot. Dave's aimed nice and square there. He's not aimed down the right, he's hit a nice soft draw. Strike with it was good. Sometimes that's what happens when you're testing on the driving range. Because there's no real end product, you give it that little bit more. Yeah. You try and get, oh, I know I can.
When you're out here, you're sort of thinking, well, what, you know, you've got to aim at a specific point.
Yeah, and Dave doesn't want to lose a golf ball. That's really what he's trying to say
tee.
there. So Dave's out here, and like you would be, you're trying to play and get a score, so you're probably not going at it as much. You're going to try and get the ball into play, whereas on a driving range, you can give it that a little bit more, because if you hit 120 yards right, most of the time the fitter's going to cancel that one off and just say it was a bad one. So you've got to think and get on the golf course and give that a test. If you see Dave's hitting some shots now inside, and we'll show you the numbers as these come over, you can see nice and consistent in regards to front and back. So again, front and back, the average overall total was 223, so 0.6 away from last week's driver. So the forgiving Strixon, very close. Doing exactly what they say, so similar price points. This coming in at £450 in comparison to the Strixon at $430. But as you see with the numbers on the screen, guys, very consistent spin numbers. And that's what we are trying to get at here. These are two drivers that are costing a lot less than your stealth drivers and your paradigms, but are performing. But we still see around about 10 yards shorter in distance. Is that worth £100 to you? Are you better off saving that £100? Is that more in your budget? And again, if it's consistent wise, that's okay. For Dave here, for those two drivers, although they are the most forgiving, dispersion is not as good as with the paradigm. So
true.
Is that £100 worth it? That is for you to decide, that is for you to test, but these drivers are not too far behind. If you can get them down the middle, then it might be something that you want to save money on. So he's absolutely chuffed with the last drive, so we're going to hit one more down here, guys, and we'll see what that does. A little bit out of balance. Dave's got giddy.
I was a bit
for that one.
I got over excited with that, Chris.
Down the left hand side, so it'll be very interesting. We're going to go up there and finish the video, guys. We're going to see the difference there in a missed hit, because the strike there certainly wasn't as good. It's not made a mark on the face. Wasn't as good, and we'll see how much dispersion's in that. If we start to see 20-30 yards, that's something we certainly didn't see when we had the paradigm last week. We certainly saw that front to back there wasn't much in it, and we got it a little bit further on average. So let's get down there and look, and then we'll talk about what drivers we're going to be looking at next week. So as we come up here, guys, we can certainly see that this one's in the rough, certainly slowed down by the rough, but
20 yards offline compared to the other one, Chris.
A good 60 yards up there, we can see the drive down the middle. So off-centered hit has made a massive difference there. So guys, next week we're going to be testing out the lowest spinning drivers of this range with both the MIZUNO ST and the Strixon ZX. So we're going to see with Dave, is that going to affect his distance? Are they going to be shorter? Are they going to be longer? What would we expect to see? We'd probably expect them to be a little bit shorter, because maybe they're not going to launch as high and Dave's not going to get as much carry. But let's have a look next week, guys. We're going to compare these two. Then we want to talk irons. So comment below, guys, what irons do you want to see Dave test? There's plenty of new ones out on the market, or do you want to see him test some of last year's irons? What do you want to see? And we'll see you then.